Alright, so today I'm taking a completely different route than what I usually do. Normally I'll post like a devlog or something this Thursday, but today I'm actually going to do a tutorial. So this is going to be the end result right here. This was a lot of fun to work on, so let's get started. So here I constructed just a basic, sorry, let me move the microphone. I just constructed just a basic looking scene here. So I'm not going to show you how I go through this, but I have post-processing layers for each scene. So I have grass, desert, and snow. Now you can kind of tell, but so yeah, get yourself a scene for sure. Something similar like this, or if you already have a game, great. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have multiple audio files, and this should be obvious. In my instance, I have audio files that are similar, very similar in how it's constructed. I mean, you could make it different, but it would be preferred if it's similar just so it blends really nice, has the same beat but different sound. So here's my grass, my forest sound. But there's that. Oh, and then we're going to, I'm going to show you the sand level. And I'll show you the winter one. So yeah, I whipped all these up in probably about 2 or 3 hours, give or take. I'm not a I'm not a musician. I'm not like the greatest composer ever, but I know the basics, and the basics got me enough to do this. So I exported all of these as, oh, it's a WAV file. So I dragged and dropped all my music files and put them into a folder called music, so I have all of them right here. So great, we have everything almost about ready. First thing we are going to want to do is we're going to want to have the player have each sound playing. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create 3 audio players on our character. So I'm sure there are better ways to do this, because otherwise if you get more than like 10 then it can get pretty tedious, but this is how I do it and it works with just a few. So we go to first person player, right click, and we're going to create empty, and we're just going to type music. In music we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to create more empties. I'm going to call this one grass music. I'm going to add component, and I'm going to add an audio source. In this audio source, you see audio clip. This is our clip that we are playing. This is our sound. So we're just going to drag and drop our grass right into there. Let's turn the volume down a little lower to like 0.25 or somewhere around there, just because it can get really loud. We have play on wake, and it's checked. Make sure that is checked, and we're going to loop it as well. Take grass music, and we're going to copy and paste it twice. We're going to rename this to sand music, and we're going to rename this one to snow music. So in our sand music object, change it to the sand sound, and our snow music object, change that to snow sound. And so if we press play, they should all play at the exact same time. And they definitely are. But it's a little overwhelming. They're all playing at the same time, and it's just too much. So what we are going to do is we are going to create an empty object, and this is going to be our container for all of the areas that are going to be playing the music. So we're going to call this music areas. All right, going back, be sure to reset the transform. We're going to create a new one. We're going to call this one grass area. And so let's add a trigger. So to add a trigger, we create a box collider. We don't do the 2D because that only works for 2D objects, so we're going to do box collider. So we have grass area inside the music areas. We added a box collider, and then click is trigger. Be sure to reset this transform as well. So we have our box right here. Let's move it. We're going to set it close to the center. We're going to click this edit collider button here, and we're just going to scale up the size to fit near the same, just the distance of the grass area. Alright, now that you've got that, we are going to add a blend component. We're going to make one actually. We're going to call it Music Blender, and we'll edit it later. So we're going to take our grass area collider, and we're going to copy and paste it, and we're going to put it over each of the areas. So this one's going to be snow area, and we'll rename it. And we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to put this right in the sand area. Alright, so now we have areas in all of our spots here. So let's open up Music Blender, the script, and we are going to remove both of these. We don't need either of them. So the first thing that we'd want to do, we're going to create 3 audio sources. And we're going to call it grass music, sand music, snow music. Now that we have those in there, we are going to create a enum. So to create an enum, we type in public enum, and we're going to call it areas, or area. And so each selection is going to be grass, sand, and snow. What this does is it allows us to be able to select if the area is a grass area, sand area, or snow area. And we're going to create the selection box inside of our inspector by doing public area selection. So if we save it, if we save, go back to Unity, we can see our audio sources are empty right here, and we can select an area for each one. So I guess do that. So change each one to its respected area. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select all of them. You can select all of them by clicking and then pressing Control, holding it down, click and click. And so if everything is all right, you should still have this here. Then all we do is we just drag each one into its respected source. For each one on our player. So when we select each one, we should be able to see all of them in the areas. Alright, now that we have that, we're going to open up Music Blender again, and we are going to set a constant for our max volume. So if we want our music to switch while we're going through each of the biomes, the areas, we can use a function called onTriggerEnter. To do that, all we have to do is type in onTriggerEnter, and we just press tab, and it just makes it for us. First thing we want to do is we want to make sure that whatever enters it is going to be the player. So we type in if other.tag equals player. Now make sure that in Unity your collider for your player has the tag player right here. Do not forget to do that. Now that that's in there, we are going to check to see if our area selection area enumerator is a certain type, so in this instance it will be grass. We're going to do equals area. So we're going to do if area selection equals area.grass. We're going to do the same thing, but for the other ones. Make sure to change these to sand and snow, respectively. And fairly easily, we can just set all of them except our grass source volume to 0, and we can set our grass source to be the max volume. So we're going to do this, grass music dot volume equals max volume. And we're just going to set these ones to 0. Alright, now that we have that, we can do the same with the other one. So I'm just going to copy it and paste it on these. I'm going to set this one to 0. I'm going to set this to max volume. And the same thing with the snow. Alright, now that you have that working, let's go test it out. Alright, so it seems to just seamlessly switch right into it. Although there's something that we can do. It's too abrupt. It just feels like it switches too abruptly. We are going to use linear interpolation. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to slowly decrease one of the volumes while the other one is increasing. So it just blends and it doesn't seem really abrupt. To do that, we're going to go back to our script. Let's create a new float. We're going to type serialized field, private float, and then blend length. This is going to be the time that it takes for it to blend, for each one to either reach to its max volume or its lowest volume. So we're actually going to create another trigger. We're going to change this one to onTriggerStay. The onTriggerStay function allows it to do these scripts every single frame, while the onTriggerEnter does it only once when you enter the frame. We're going to create an onTriggerEnter, and this one is onTriggerStay. Let's create a new float up here. We're going to call it time started blending. And in onTriggerEnter, we're going to set time started blending equals time.time. There are two ways where we can lerp the function. I'm going to do it the correct way because I don't want everyone to get upset for me doing it incorrectly. Some people interpolate with time.delta time, but we're not going to do that. So when we collide with the player, we're going to create a new float time since started, and we're going to say time.time minus time started blending. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to count whenever this starts, whenever we enter a different trigger, it starts counting. And so we're going to interpolate by a percentage, so from a value between 0 and 1. So we're going to create a new float, percentage equals time since started divided by, and we're going to put in our blend length. Alright, now that we got the math figured out, which I'm sure made a lot of you guys throw up, we can start lerping. So right here we're going to remove this, we're going to remove max volume, and we're just going to type in mathf.lerp, and we're going to make it so it's current volume, and we're going to make it its max volume. And we're going to interpolate through percentage. If you guys need more explanation, I'll put a link to linear interpolation in the description below. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing with the other ones, but instead of making it so it goes to max volume, we're going to make it so it goes to 0. So this here. Alright, so now while these go to 0, this goes to max. We're going to test it out really quick. Alright, so when we go from the sandy area to the grassy area, we can hear it slowly fade out and fade into the grass. So yeah, we can watch the volume bar on the side slowly decreases. We can increase its value if we wanted to by going to these right here and turning up blend length to maybe 5. So we're gonna do it with the other ones as well. We're just gonna copy and paste it really. And we're just gonna adjust the variables based on what it's supposed to be. Alright, so we're gonna test it once again. Everything seems to blend just right. Alright, just a little bit of fixing that we're going to do. We're just going to open up the music, all of these ones on the side. We're going to turn its volume down to 0. And so it doesn't all play at the same time, shrink, and then just play the correct one. They just slowly introduce. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I know this isn't a typical video that I do. I'm trying to reach a broader audience, seeing if I can get more viewers and more people that want to check out my stuff. I don't know if there's already a tutorial out for music blending, and I'm sure there are better ones out there, but I do appreciate you guys watching this all the way through. If you like this video a lot, you know what to do. If you really like this video a lot, you know what to do. I post videos every Thursday, or at least I try to, and I have merchandise and link below. If you have questions, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'll try to answer you, and let me know if you want any more tutorials, because this was a lot of fun for me to work on, and I really enjoy this stuff. I think it's a blast. Well, anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. Like I said, thank you all so much for watching, and that's going to be it. Thank you. don't even know what I'm doing.